Welcome to our initial episode of Hey Bobby for this baseball season of 2024, featuring Senior VP of our Cleveland Guardians, Bob DiBiasio, with us, kind enough to give us his time each and every week, talking baseball, Guardians baseball and such, and we'll do all of that here in our episode number 1 for the season. Bobby, it was this week that Bob Feller, if you go back in time, had that opening day no-hitter going back in time, the only one actually that happened. And you and I have reflected on that through the years. And I know you talked to Rapid Robert a lot about that. And I thought that's where we could open up about your good friend Bob Feller with that opening day no-hitter that he did those years ago.
Hello, Ray. Can't wait to get rolling on this as we have fun talking baseball throughout the summer and also mostly the history of baseball, which you and I love. So looking forward to another fun year of hanging out together. It's interesting whenever I hear about Bob Feller being the only pitcher to throw a no-hitter on opening day in the history of the game of baseball. And think about that. We just had our 124th opening day in the history of our franchise as a member of the American League, and that this happened only once. My mind only goes directly to the opening of Progressive Field and Randy Johnson throwing a no-hitter against us, and Sandy Alomar getting a hit in the 8th inning to break up his no-hitter. And Bob Feller is pacing from the 5th inning on. He's pacing the back of the press box and stopping whomever who would come near him and say, "You know who pitched the only opening day no-hitter in baseball history, right?" Excuse me. And everybody would, "Yes, sir, it was you. It was you." So now we're in the bottom of the 8th, and I'm standing in the front area of the press box. Immediately to my right is the ESPN booth where Chris Berman and Buck Martinez are doing the ball game. And all of a sudden I look over and there's Bob walking in the TV booth. Just walks right by the technical director, walks down to the front row. All of a sudden you look up and Buck and Chris see Bob Feller and they just start talking to him. And, I go running over there and all I hear is Bob say, only one guy is thrown. And before he could get it out, they're both like, "Yes, sir, it was you. You have the only opening day no-hitter, and we've got one going on right here." And right at that moment, Sandy hits a ball to right field for a single. Feller turns around and walks out. He did his job. It's just one of the most fun things. And so I was there at the back of the booth waiting for him and shook his hand. And I said, "You did it. You jinxed it. And your record is safe." So what a wonderful memory.
Did he ever, because you had so many great conversations with him, did he ever reflect to you on that game? Because I remember interviewing Bob and he remembered so many pitches through the year. I mean, I remember him telling me about him getting Joe DiMaggio out and all this stuff. Did he ever reflect to you about that particular game at all?
Well, he talked about how chilly it was. He always liked to talk about the trivia question. What team ended up having the same batting average from one game to the next? And it was the White Sox, who all were 0-0-0. And if my memory serves me correctly, he was really concerned during the game because his mother got hit by a foul ball.
Oh.
And so they stopped the game for a brief moment when they realized it was Feller's mother who got hit by a line drive foul ball over by the dugout. But as far as getting in trouble that game or doing whatever, he walked a bunch, which he always did, but was able to keep him off the bases via a hit. But yeah, you're right. Most of the time, he knew what pitch he threw on a 2-2 count in the fourth inning in a game in 1942, who the hitter was, what the situation was.
So
Pretty
impressive.
remarkable. But I tell you, I think Charlie Nagy and Sam McDowell and all the guys, I think they could tell you that as well. Their memories are pretty sharp, especially pitchers.
Senior VP with the Cleveland Guardians, Bob DiBiasio, with us. It's called Hey Bobby. Bobby, also this week, it was Jackie Robinson Day. All the players the other day wore number 42 to commemorate Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier in Major League Baseball. And you and I have talked, but a lot of people don't understand it was just 3 months later that Larry Doby made his Major League debut with our Cleveland Indians, and very much the same type of circumstances surrounded Larry that many people didn't talk so much about, taking nothing away from Jackie, but Larry went through a lot of the same things. And again, a very good friend of yours for many years, Larry Doby, and I thought you could reflect a little bit there.
Yeah, dear friends, Larry and his wife Helen, just beautiful, wonderful people, and had an opportunity to sit in the dugout on many occasions, just Larry and I peppered him with as many questions as I possibly could. His son Larry Jr. and I are very, very dear friends and text probably 3-4 times a week, maybe more than that during the baseball season, as he keeps track of our ball club, of course. Um, One of the things that always stuck out about the story of Larry, he was in Hawaii as a member of the United States Navy in World War II when he heard over Armed Forces radio that Jackie Robinson had signed a minor league contract in the International League with Montreal, the AAA team of the Brooklyn Dodgers. And he said that was the first time that he thought, being a professional baseball player in the Negro leagues, that maybe he had a chance, because most people were telling him he and Monty Irvin were two of the best players that if baseball did integrate, that those two would be at the top of the list, they would think, along with Jackie Robinson. And it's interesting that 11 weeks after Jackie broke the color barrier, Larry did so, but Jackie, Branch Rickey of the proud Ohio Wesleyan alum, Branch
You had to
Rickey
get that in there.
had to get that in. Identified Jackie Robinson being an officer in the Army, 27 years old, played at UCLA, an integrated college, grew up in an integrated neighborhood, signed him to a AAA contract to play for Montreal and learn and get to know his teammates. So the next spring training, he didn't walk in not knowing anybody. He was familiar with many in the organization. So there was a little bit of a drum roll in the way Branch Rickey orchestrated this remarkable barrier breaking historic moment in baseball history. Larry didn't have that. Larry was playing a doubleheader in the Negro Leagues in New York City and jumped on a train and went right to Chicago and walked into the visiting clubhouse at Comiskey Park to meet his new team. And July 5th, he did that on July 3rd. It was notified, and then July 5th made a pinch hit appearance in 1947 as the first black to play in the American League. And then the very next year, he was instrumental in the Indians winning the 1948 World Series. And it was he and Satchel Paige were the two first African-American baseball players to be World Series champions.
Larry Doby, certainly an icon when you talk about Indians/Guardians history in Major League Baseball as well. Bobby, kind of unusual before I let you go this weekend, Boston, then we're right back home this weekend with the A's in town this weekend. So that's nice.
Yes, it is. quirks of the schedule, we played 3 against the New York Yankees, and I don't think we see them again until August or something like that. But we go to Boston for 4, and we come right back home to play Oakland for 3 on this coming weekend, and then Boston for 3, and we're done with them. It's just one of those quirks of the schedule. Loving the way this team just has that no quit attitude. It's been pretty amazing, almost opposites. Our offense has jumped out to a really solid start, where our starting pitching with injury has struggled a little bit. That was obviously going to be our strength in the 2024 season, and that we were hoping we could generate enough offense with a strong bullpen and great defense to win more than our share of games. It's nice to see the way Andres Jimenez has started off playing offensively, and of course, platinum glove, gold glove caliber second base. Rocchio has done a wonderful job. I think Tyler Freeman, the biggest surprise out of spring training, being the starting center fielder, has done a very nice job out there. It's been fun to watch. Stephen Vogt has the team with a bounce to their step, a great positive flow going through that clubhouse. They're just a fun team to watch, and people have to remember they're the youngest team in baseball again.
And they're also in first place as well.
Yes.
There you go. Another edition of Hey Bobby with us each week here on WAKR, WAKR.net, Facebook, and our YouTube channel. Bobby, we appreciate it. Looking forward already to our visit next week, and we'll see you at the ballpark real soon, my friend.
Yes, we will. Thank you, Ray. Go Guardians.